guys, fire our shit!
Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to your home port. There are a number of new U.S. premium cruisers being tested right now, and I'm going to go over USS Helena for you today at Tier 7. USS Helena was kindly provided to me in order to make this preview for you and must be considered a work in progress still at this point, meaning that what I show you here today may not be the finalized version of the ship when it is finally made available to the public. USS Helena was a St. Louis-class light cruiser commissioned into the U.S. Navy September 18, 1939, and having a short but active career during World War II. Present at Pearl Harbor during the Japanese attack, she suffered heavy damage from a torpedo hit and was not fully repaired until June of 1942. During the Guadalcanal campaign in 1942, she rescued over 400 sailors of USS Wasp after she was struck by 3 torpedoes. Helena herself was sunk by 3 torpedoes July 6, 1943, during the Battle of Kula Gulf. It is interesting to note that due to the proficiency of Helena's gun crews, on more than one occasion she was called a machine gun ship during Tokyo Rose propaganda radio broadcasts. Helena is a fairly sturdy boat with 33,300 hit points, but her torpedo damage reduction is only 7%. Still, if you don't give up your broadside to enemy fire but keep some angle, you can weather a fair amount of enemy fire. As a light cruiser, Helena is not blessed with the armor profile to be able to shrug off broadside fire with her citadel, consisting of plating with anywhere from 16 to 127 millimeters of thickness. And while most of it's below the waterline, there's still enough sticking up out of the water to make her very vulnerable here. Gun turrets and barbettes are protected with some of the best armor in Tier 7 cruisers, with anywhere from 38 to 165 millimeters of armor, and capping the citadel, the auxiliary room armor provides a further 16 millimeters of protection. Foreplating of 16 millimeters will theoretically shrug off fire from 230 millimeter or 9-inch projectiles that end on angling, but pick your battles here wisely because the decking will not. And aside from the conning tower with 57 to 127 millimeters, the rest of the superstructure's unremarkable 13 millimeters won't either. Despite the Tokyo Rose wartime broadcast claiming Helena to be a 6-inch shell-firing machine gun ship, she's not. However, her guns are definitely what makes her so dangerous to destroyers and other cruisers. 15 6-inch guns mounted in 5 triple turrets, 3 fore, and 2 aft means no matter where her targets are, she can bring ample and effective fire to bear. As I have the ship configured, she has an 8.5 second reload time, which is not the fastest at Tier 7, but it's faster than most. Time to rotate turrets 180 degrees is very competitive in Tier, as is her AP and HE damage of 3,200 and 2,200 hit points respectively. The only thing I might consider a blemish on these excellent rifles would be the slightly short range of 14.6 kilometers, but more so the downright doggedy 762 meter per second shell velocity of the regular AP. Not that this is a surprise, many US weapons have lower shell velocities, but if you are used to playing speedier shells, you'll have to adapt. Anti-aircraft defenses are adequate, but not much more than that as I have the ship configured, giving a 67 rating. You can, however, have the defensive AA fire consumable loaded, which will significantly up your abilities. But I've chosen to swap it out for hydroacoustic search, as I require this to keep me safe when I'm hunting destroyers. There is also the catapult fighter consumable loaded, which will also assist you in your defensive efforts, so all's not lost by not taking the defensive AA fire consumable. Helena's maximum speed, though, stock out of the box, is a respectable 32.5 knots, and she has a decent turning circle of 680 meters and rudder shift time of 9.1 seconds, giving her what she needs to avoid torpedoes, especially when you get extra notice from your hydroacoustic consumable. As I have the ship configured with an 11-point captain who's packing the concealment expert skill, Helena boasts a detectability range of 10.1 kilometers by sea, which is not the best in her tier, but very competitive just the same. For myself, depending on whether or not Helena retains her current characteristics and how much she may cost when finally released to the public, I would buy this ship with confidence. For myself, she suits my playstyle, allowing me to perform a cruiser's job of keeping destroyers at bay through the use of the hydroacoustic consumable and her excellent rapid-firing rifles. Of course, hunting destroyers is not all she's good at. She can hold her own against other light cruisers as well as being a perfect bother to heavier units, raining HE fire down on them and setting them alight with the 12% chance to start a fire. That's not too bad. I hope she makes it to the public. As she stands, at least she'll be a good ship to have in your port. Something else we all need to consider when fitting out our ship for combat are what captain skills might be most beneficial with a certain ship. USS Helena I find to be a very effective weapons platform, so if you were to fit out a 10-point captain, let's say, I might go for more of a repair type loadout where the emphasis is on keeping the ship in the match as opposed to boosting its already very good offensive capabilities. To that end, I would choose preventative maintenance at the expense of 1 skill point to reduce the risk of having a ship's module incapacitated by 30%. Next, for 2 skill points, I would pick high alert as it reduces the reload time of the damage control party consumable by 10%. And next, for 3 points, I would choose Basics of Survivability in order to reduce by 15% the time of repair, fire extinguishing, and recovering from flooding. And last, for 4 skill points, and now a total of 10 skill points expended, I would choose Concealment Expert to reduce Helena's range to be spotted by 12%. These choices, I think, will really help with keeping Helena in the game longer by boosting her resiliency when taking damage in battle. Well, folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. As well, be sure to visit my social media pages, both on Facebook and Twitter. This is where I post info that, well, not belonging in a video. It's worth taking a look at. Now, a lot of you have been very generous with donations, becoming patrons, or donating during the live streams, or sending in your replays so I can commentate and put them up for others to enjoy. But it's also very helpful just watching the vids, liking and subscribing. So I just wanted to make sure that those of you who support in that manner know that I really appreciate what you're doing as well. Thank you. Links to all things in the video description. Alright folks, thanks very much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you next time.